Do you think the gold nugget can withstand bullets? With such a question, a foreign uncle spent $45,000, bought a kilo of gold nuggets. With him, also tested was a silver lump weighing 28 kilograms, and a big bag of coins. This is very in line with the style of local tyrants and foreigners. The first thing that was designed was a big bag of coins. I saw that he first fixed it to the target with a rope. Then take out the Winchester 97 salted egg gun. This weapon appears frequently in games. I don't know how powerful it is in reality. One shot down. Don't say that the foreigner's head is quite high. The coin bag is also broken. Then he was among the scattered coins, found a few deformed coins. It seems that the bag was not pierced just now. It's because of their blocking. Here's a 28 kg piece. Looks so thick. There should be no weapon that can penetrate him, right? Even the uncle only used a small pistol. Shot the bullet into a piece. Put on a variety of different types of guns for testing. Among them, salted egg guns and other injuries are still the most obvious. Leave a huge pothole in one piece in order to bring you better experimental results. Then take. Out comes a rifle with colorful skin. This shot hits the edge. The bullet is also stuck in a piece. The exasperated brother moved bear it out. The silver nugget is worth piercing with the sound. Finally, with the long-awaited gold nugget. To prevent the shards from tearing the plane apart, the uncle put the gold nugget in the box. It seems that local tyrants and foreigners are also quite attractive. Get a small pistol and try the water first. Through the lens in the box we can see. Successfully resist this blow as soon as possible. Replace it with a more powerful pistol. Make a big pit as soon as possible this time. But that's not all. Prepare to leave early. The foreigners who went there used ballet to aim good gold nuggets. Go down this shot. The gold nugget has long been punched with a huge grunt. There are also large and small holes in the back of the box. Pick up the gold nugget and take a look. This is equivalent to losing 1/8 of the gold nugget. Don't look at him smiling now. I guess it's early in my heart. Foreign brothers do experiments. Put non-Newtonian fluids on train tracks and crush them. What will happen? You know, a non-Newtonian fluid is a strong fluid, weak visible matter. If you treat him violently, he will be tougher. Foreigners' stubborn temper. As soon as you come up, you put flying fluid on the rails. Let the train run over. Let's see if he can meet Kong Z Kong. I saw that he first moved out his own watermelon. Open your eyes first. As the back of the train rises, an orange train is approaching. The moment the train stops, it crumbles and flies around. Jing then took out a discarded bicycle tire. I want to tear him apart with manpower. That's a lot of effort. But today, his opponent is the train. What kind of spark will be sent when the two meet? Soon a train was approaching. Brother, hurry up and place the tires. Retreat to a few dozen meters away. Thousands of tons of trains solidify domineering. The tires are halfway through the train. It's already been divided into two. And then finally, there's the non-Newtonian fluid. The way you hold it in your hand gives a sense of weakness. How can I not dare to have a blind date? This thing can resist beating so much. The gosling is slowly placed on the rails. Then I ran to the distance to observe. Soon the train came again. I didn't expect non-Newtonian fluids that get stronger in case of strength. It ended up like a watermelon. In midair, Feeney's fluid still takes the form of a solid. Perhaps this was his last act of stubbornness. Little friend in front of the screen. You've heard of airplanes, advanced technology for spraying pesticides, save time and effort. So have you ever seen fish sprinkled on an airplane? A plane in Utah, USA. Drive across a lake. Open the hatch in the middle of the lake, accompanied by the ejection of an ancient water mist. Thousands of fish spurt out and fall into the water. This is the first time I have seen such a scene. Generally for the ecological balance of the lake, they put them out to increase the entertainment crowd. However, the general fry placement, professional details are required. Otherwise, it is likely that it will not be able to feed. It turns out that these fry are loyal to the breed, mainly to give this. Go to the wildlife in the area to provide food, to ensure the ecological balance of the region. It's not for food, and it can save time and effort when the plane is launched. Can be more conducive to the growth season of fish. The survival rate of these fry can be as high as 95%. To guarantee such a high survival rate, also, because they have been professionally tested, as long as the plane keeps the drop distance at an altitude of 10 meters. The survival rate of fry is the highest, and the fry is tiny, only 2 to 8 centimeters long. The original delivery height is not high, and that air barrier protects them, so there's no need to worry about survival. According to relevant personnel, this hair method can solve ecological problems as quickly as possible, and it provides a suitable venue for some fishing enthusiasts. Friends in front of the screen. For motorcycle enthusiasts, except for the handsome motorcycle shape, able to attract people, the sound of the exhaust pipe, it can also attract people's attention, and foreigners, for their own exhaust pipe sound. Laying is different, but painstakingly. I have a big belly like this. Before installed on the exhaust pipe, after starting once, maybe none of you thought, strange sounds like. But foreigners think that's not compelling enough, so I got another flute. I plan to let the exhaust pipe make music once. First, let's listen to the exhaust sound before the modification. No wonder foreigners modified it like this. Walking down the road on such a birthday, Nis nodded and didn't take it home. While refitting, foreigners don't forget to show off their talents. Forget it. Let's start modifying it quickly. Play back the 5-tone incongruity beforehand. I saw my brother insert the flute into the exhaust pipe. The size is just right. Can't wait to unscrew the accelerator. Soon, a demonic voice appeared. I don't know I thought it was some kind of bird. What about the sound? Hard to believe. The sound was made by a flute. Then the little brother used such a light dance. Press the small control on the flute with your hand, looking at ridiculous little hands. The real person thought that the game also made a song. Nice music. But let's not talk about how we feel about sound. Anyway, it is to achieve the satisfaction of my aunt. He thought to himself that if he were walking down the road, is the return of the lady not 100%? Friends in front of the screen. Have you heard of the Devil's Excitement Hall? It instantly cools the air being pumped. His scientific name is logistics management, generally used in the production industry, like the cold treatment of plastic or metallic wood. This kind of duct can divide the air into hot and cold. Hot air up to 127 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature of the air conditioner can reach -4 to 6 degrees. An evening pose with a graceful appearance. Why does it cool like an air conditioner? And it's not that complicated, because the snail tube is a loose tube. The intake port is on the side of the tube body. We go through this hole. The compressed air is fed into the snail tube. Thin face nozzle will cause the passing air to continue to expand and accelerate. After entering the vortex tube, separate hot and cold gases. A free vortex is formed when air enters the nozzle. The angle of rotation of the free vortex, the closer to the center, the higher the angular velocity. So the free snail. Friction occurs between layers. It is also because of friction, cause the central energy to lose flow, so as to achieve the effect of lowering the temperature, and the external energy keeps increasing. After the temperature rises, and through the orifice plate, in the center of the snail, draw out from one end, and you get all the cold air that you need for cooling, and the other end is drawn out through the valve, to get hot airflow. You can also control the valves, to adjust hot and cold, flow and temperature of cool mist airflow. It's like a cookie that just came out of the factory. It has a long tube on it. It's basically the snail tube. Multiple strands of air can be used. Let the cookies cool quickly, small in front of the screen. As an important part of the train track, it guides the direction of the train, but what you don't know is the rails are as soft as a honey bar when laid. Our common railroad tracks look very hard, but when laying, it's like he's fishing for noodles with chopsticks. Use big pliers to pull. The tracks are pulled aside, it even bounced back a few times. Then why are the rails so soft? The rails are made of materials for a direct reason. Now, most rails are made of high manganese steel. In the process of rail forging, to make the rails more resilient, there will be an additional process of basing processing. After going through this process, the rails become very soft. Of course, you also need to go through the guide rail to straighten it, and they ship it by truck, conveyed to the rails for installation and fixing. Look at this train, driving on such a squiggly track. We don't just worry about food. In fact, we are all dolly. It is because of the process of making rails. It worked. And some people will ask, the train runs on such curved rails. Won't it slip? You know, even on normal tracks, trains can also slip. The phenomenon occurs in the northern winter, because the extremely cold temperatures can freeze the surface of the rails. But generally the power wheels of locomotives will have prevent the train from slipping when starting. Plus, the train is very heavy, so he has the rails, and he has a lot of friction. This also greatly reduces the probability of slipping. These are two pieces of metal, and shake, and they connect. This is the magic of friction welding. You need to know that ordinary welding requires high temperature, and high temperatures can damage the material. But you're applying pressure, and you're rubbing. The two bows and arrows were also firmly welded together. Friction welding is a solid-state welding process. It is the product that will need to be welded. By applying pressure, let it be connected together under high-speed friction. When explaining the friction between technologies from a physical perspective, surface molecules collide with each other. It gains kinetic energy, and then collides with other molecules. This regular thermal motion increases the internal energy of the object. As the temperature continues to rise, can destroy the oxide film on the surface of the bow and arrow. That's where the technology becomes malleable. Strong pressure on matching. The two bows and arrows can be closely connected. This welding method has only its greatest advantage. The temperature in MOSA has not reached the melting point of the metal. Put him in a thermogenic state. Seam welding like this can achieve the same strength as raw materials. Welding methods that do not require solder not only save money, raw material cost. The entire welding process is also very environmentally friendly, except for this welding method. Cold welding technology also does not require foreign heating, just high efficiency, pressure extrusion. The metal grids can be mixed with each other, bind the atoms, and the molecular structure will be reshaped. The little friends in front of the screen are welding like this.